Like many foreigners who moved to live in the Philippines, I had the great idea around a year ago to build a house in this country. I fell in love with the island of Siargao during the pandemic and decided I'd like to permanently leave a place for me to come back to on this island. What's up for anybody who's new to this channel via this video? My name is Tal and I have been living in the Philippines for the last 2.5 years. I started constructing a small tiny house on the island of Siargao in October of 2021 when a Category 5 typhoon came in and pretty much destroyed the entire island 2 months into the construction of my project. Today's video, I'm going to be brutally honest with you guys about plans and what's happening with this house and what's happening with the series about building this house. By the way, if you guys want to see what I'm up to these days, I actually have a second channel that I'm really trying to get to profitability called the Dinosaur Channel. I make videos all about dinosaurs. It's super fun. Check it out down below in the description. I designed this house with tons of friends of mine who have designed houses before and with a chef who helped me design the kitchen. It was really cool. The project was amazing. I was working with a contracting company called Siargao Tropical Builders. We were really excited about the project. We were doing it as sort of a YouTube partnership as well to show people how to build a house in the Philippines. By the time that Typhoon Odette came in, destroyed the island, and also heavily damaged the project that we were working on, we had already been 80% to maybe even 90% finished with the project. With the context of what happened on the island and the recovery effort that Siargao needs to go through currently, it wasn't the right time to pick up and start rebuilding the house. As well, a really sad reality that happened to many of the people who live in Siargao and happened to my construction crew, including my contractor and his family, is that their houses got completely destroyed. And when I mean completely destroyed, my contractor Lewis took me to the site of where his house was, and literally the only thing that you could see there is 4 posts, like 1, 2, 3, 4 of the foundations of where the house used to be. Siargao is still a relatively remote place. While there are a lot of tourists and well-built infrastructure in the town of GL, for a majority of the island, the infrastructure is still not there, and it's very much a developing island in the Philippines. It is by no means a major city or a major hub for technology or infrastructure, anything like that. That's part of the beauty of being in Siargao, is that the island is still very rural and you get a very native feel when you're there. Many people's houses are made out of native materials. They lack concrete and they're made mostly of nipa, which is sort of a thatch that goes on the roof, a makan, which is a woven bamboo wall, and plywood, which is a really popular but not very strong material, especially when it comes to a Category 5 super typhoon. The situation is super sad across the island, and part of the efforts that me and my friends did after the island was struck by this typhoon is that we raised over $30,000 for Filipinos living in Siargao to help them rebuild houses, hopefully a little bit stronger this time, but with those native materials. So back to my construction crew, most of their houses were made out of these native materials in the barangay of Santa Fe. Santa Fe is a barangay of the municipality of General Luna, which is sort of the main tourist hub in Siargao. It's a beautiful spot where I decided I wanted to build my house, and I am absolutely in love with that area. The people are so friendly, the beaches are amazing there, and my lot is really perfectly located in it's a dream location. But yes, back to the construction crew, most of them lost their houses completely. Lewis, my contractor, who was my main man, while we didn't agree on everything during the project, which you don't with your contractor usually, we definitely had some issues coming towards the end of the project, he was still there for me the entire time. He protected my chickens, which I grew a really close bond with, as ridiculous as that sounds, during the storm. He watched over my house. He did everything he possibly could within the context of living on this island and with his financial situation to watch my back, and I wanted to do the same thing. So when I knew that I was leaving the island of Siargao, I offered him the opportunity. While I knew he needed it, he would never ask for it, to live in my house with his family because he had no house anymore. I said, you know, the roof and the ceiling were gone. I wasn't able to transfer money at the time because there were no operating banks. I said, try to put some sort of tarp on it until I can get out of the Siargao and start sending you guys some money to help redevelop and build up the house again. And you can live here for now until I return back to the Philippines, and then I promise I will do my best to help you situate yourself and figure out a place for you to go. Now, a couple things have happened since then. The governing bodies that protect the local ecosystem in Siargao have decided that most of the communities that were living really close to shore are not allowed to return to their lots to live where they used to live before the typhoon. They say it's not ecologically safe, and it's also not safe for people to be living there anymore in case of a surge that happens during a typhoon like what happened in Odette, because the surge was so massive it pretty much caused like a mini tsunami, which was really devastating. My construction crew, specifically my contractor, is now kind of homeless. Like, they don't own a lot anymore, they don't have a place to build their home anymore. So giving them that roof under their head to live in, the one that they were constructing, has really helped them get up on their feet a little bit and situate themselves, not have to worry about finances, not have to worry about money, just worry about slowly developing yourself back. Now, unfortunately as well, during the typhoon or right after, all my power tools that helped us construct the house, when it comes to planers, sanding discs, sanders, saws, everything got stolen. They didn't leave us for anything. Same exact thing with my contractor, who had most of his materials stored in my shed. Most of his really expensive equipment for constructing houses was stolen outright, and he was left with nothing. So before I left the island of Siargao, I gave him the blessing of living in the house. Obviously, we did some sort of verbal contract to protect myself and to protect him, to make sure that I'm going to care for him and he's going to care for me. And we had no problems with reading and signing that contract verbally, as well as I gave them my tuk-tuk, which was sort of on its last legs, but I tried to fix up as much as I could before I gave it to them and left. So they're driving that tuk-tuk around, and that was helping them move things around from wherever they needed to go, especially in the barangay of Santa Fe. And we're at a very peculiar position now, because Siargao is coming back to normal, especially the barangay of Santa Fe and the municipality of Generula is slowly ticking back to where it's supposed to be. While they're nowhere out of the clear yet, they are slowly making it back. And as we try to push people who live on the island of Siargao and the community that is involved with the island, as we try to push more people to go there, spend their money there, start bringing tourism back to the island, I'm stuck in this weird position of I have this incredible series on how to build a house in Siargao that is 90% finished. I'm going to be uploading the most intensive and descriptive house building series that's ever been done in the Philippines. I'm going to give you guys a vlog series that shows you how we actually build a house from day to day. It's documented over the course of 2 months, pretty much a daily vlog of everything that we did, every update that happened on the lot, and then I'm going to break them down for you guys on how to actually do the things that we did, the costs, the money, everything that's involved in building a house. I am trying my best to gather sponsors, so the series is also profitable to me because I did spend quite a bit of money on it. I might have an issue providing you guys with the bureaucratic part of the construction process, especially the papers and the legalities and all that. That's probably going to be a little bit difficult for me, especially now as we start, because the island is still just getting up on its feet now and recovering. So just keep some patience on that end of it. But financially and the actual hard work construction and how we built this house, showing you guys the design process, all that, I'm going to be able to provide you guys free and clear, and everything will be super easy when it comes to that stuff. Whether, again, you're a Filipino or a foreigner coming to Siargao from the outside, or if you're a Siargaoan and you need some tips, but I'm sure if you're a Siargaoan, you probably know how to do this stuff for cheaper and better than I do. It's a great series that's going to provide a lot of context and information for you to learn all about it. One other thing to note, this is for the people who really care about this stuff and that made it to the end of this video. My construction crew and my contractor, they lost their home and they have to build and start everything from zero. Now, on my YouTube channel, while we did everything straight to the book when it came to donations and fundraising for the people of Siargao, I got a lot of really nasty and very targeting comments from a lot of Filipinos saying that we're not allowed to raise money and it's against the law and we shouldn't be raising money if we don't have permits. The one thing that I have to respond to that is just, it was an emergency situation. If you really care so much to call out foreigners on the island or anybody on the island raising money for people who need it, especially when we raised $30,000 for Filipinos who really needed it. If you want to go out and call us out for something like that because we didn't have permits, it makes me fearful of trying to do something like that again in the future. And what I wanted to is ask you guys for advice. I want to raise money for my construction crew and my workers through this series. While we're building the series, I'd like to make some sort of constant place where people can raise money and send money to me or to the construction workers directly. How would you guys suggest that I go about doing something like that? Do you think setting up a GoFundMe is the right way? Do you think opening up my GCash or my PayPal again is the right way? I want to do this the right way that Filipinos will respect and care about, because what I am trying to do is be a part of the Kababayan and do some bayanihan for my fellow Filipinos who are living on the island and support them. And by doing that with me, I'm able to help them hopefully get more jobs in the future. The whole point of the series in the beginning was to create a series where I shine a light on their construction company if they ended up doing a good job. And overall, while we had a lot of difficulties towards the end of the project, they still did an incredible job, and I stand behind that. And the love that they've shown me after the typhoon, they even went out to Siargao City while it was still dilapidated and got me my mattress and got me a bunch of things that I was sent over from Cebu that survived the typhoon and brought it back to Siargao, and it's waiting for me in my house. And that's something they did for no cost. I didn't pay them to do it. They just did it out of the kindness of their own heart. Obviously, I'm helping them out financially as much as I can whenever I can. They have been incredible to me, and I want to be incredible to them back, and I've let them know. And even when I asked them, how much money would you guys need to construct your houses, they said anything will help at this point. There's not really a budget. So I want to know right now, anybody who's watching this video, if you have any suggestions how I can go about raising money in the Philippines for my construction crew, the legal way, the smart way, the helpful way, whatever the way is that you guys will respect it and I won't get flack for doing it, please let me know. And again, for anybody that has any issues with the money that we raised earlier on, the $30,000 we raised for Filipinos, the financial sheet is there showing you guys exactly where every single peso, every single penny went. It's all available in the video where I showed a breakdown of how we spent that money. So I want to make sure that you guys know and can trust me to do this again in the future. I have no intention of stealing money or taking money from anyone. I'm blessed, God blessed, to have what I have, and I work really hard for my money. I don't need to steal money from anybody to do this type of stuff that I want to do. But I just really want to help because these people touch my heart. Let me know which ways you guys think we could do that. And that's the end of this update video. I apologize, guys, again, for the lack of videos on the traveling class. I'm working so hard on getting the dinosaur channel to profitability because this is a good backup for me, because travel is still very uncertain in the world right now during this pandemic, and I don't feel right to head back out into the world and just travel all willy-nilly at the moment. And my heart is still very heavily in Siargao. I think it'll be probably the first place I head back out to once I leave the United States of America. As the last couple things, subscribe to the Dinosaur channel and please help support me there. Let me know about the fundraising there and just prepare yourself for an amazing series about the construction of my home in the Philippines. It's coming very, very soon. And that's all, guys. I love you long time. Thanks so much for everyone who's supporting me, especially during this downtime on the channel. Salamat. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.